How's everyone doing? It's Grant with the Garden of Eder. In this video, we'll do the tanks by the front door. We've got the rack with the 10s, the 20 talls, and a couple of bookshelf tanks in to fill the gaps. And we've got our 55-gallon Sulawesi tank. This tank is our heated tank. We've got some chocolate and yellow rabbit snails in here, as well as more cardinal Sulawesi shrimp. And you can see how these guys just aren't very sociable. As soon as you start moving up towards the tank, they're looking and debating whether it's a good idea to go eat or if they should run and hide and try and scurry away. And we've got the chocolate in the back here. But the tank's heated to 80-degree temperature Fahrenheit. We've got the lime rock, crushed coral, and aragonite for substrate, and then 3 20-gallon sponge filters for filtration. And we'll start up top with the 10-gallon tanks. First tank, we've got our green tiger project. We've also got a little hitchhiker that came with this nice piece of java fern. Another hitchhiker right there. But I'll get them out before they can tank the jeans. So we got our green tiger project in this tank, as well as this tank. However, I'm not sure if these guys are pure or not, so I'm kind of quarantining these in their own tank. I'll explain that in a second. And then in this tank, we don't have too many shrimp. We just got some tibies. These are culls from the bottom tank, and I haven't culled very many out of these guys yet, but there's some work to be done. I gotta move the ladder. And we've got some steels, some low grades, and then this tank we just have some of our tie bee culls. Not too many, but that's a good thing. And then over here we've got some tie bees and other culls from down below as well. And then here's from the tank that I talked about. I wasn't sure if the green tiger female got into the tank and was already pregnant, or if she had bred with one of the tie bee males. The goal of this tank is to try to make my own galaxy tigers, or even some of the cooler ones kind of look like the cows. Maybe he'll come out in a little bit. Actually, he's right there, or she rather. There's a couple other cool patterns in here, but just a ton of those green jade culls got left behind, and so you can definitely see there that some of them have definitely inbred and tainted the genes in this tank, but I'm pretty sure the other ones are pure, so I'll move those guys to the tank tank. And then these were basically the same genes as the other tank before the green tiger got in there. However, I took these guys with the back line. The main goal of this tank is the back line, like that red one and the blue one right there. I do need to cull these guys back up top, fill up that tank up top. I've got a blue steel tank, and if you got some of the Christmas moths off of us recently, these tanks is where I pulled it all out of. You can see it's basically choking the tank out. I can't even cull these guys. This is our main green tiger tank, or was, and then I crossed it with black tiger orange eye to try and get some orange eyes into the mix. And I'll see if we can get some of the orange eyes in there. But lots of work still to be done, but that's what you got to do to make something new and innovative. And then this tank was red pintos. There is a Stardust that ran loose in there. She did not get buried by any of the pinto males, so I threw another male in there just to get them going. So I do have some stardust running around in the tank. And this is just a mixed tank. Bunch of different Caridina thrown in there. And then here's the cull tank from the green tigers crossed with the black tiger orange eyes. And this is a buddy's tank that I've been watching of his. She's got some mixed tank tie going on in there. It does have a really nice female running around in there somewhere packed full of babies. This is our wild tank. There's a bluefin killies that me and the kids caught. We just kind of keep the fish in here, take photographs and whatnot of what the kids catch and want to see what they turn out to be. It's really hard to see what they look like in the net, so we'll bring it home and show the kids if it's something cool like the bluefin killies. Working on that tank, it was full of algae. I decided to pull it out, just made it a big mess. But there was the culls of the green tigers in here, so nothing special. I wasn't worried about messing up the substrate or anything. And then this tank we've got our red tigers. Now these guys do kind of have the blue bodies, as you can see there. A little bit on the one on the right. These guys are really neat and interesting. When they stress out, they'll turn blue. Almost no red to them at all. Like in the mornings when you turn on the tanks bright in the morning. And then we've got our orange eye project tank. This is where we bred our hollow-eyed red ghost with our orange-eyed yellow tigers, as well as our black tiger orange eyes. You can see some of the babies left over from the yellow King Kong cross. And then we've got the creme de la creme here, the black tiger orange eye. I think I've won more awards with these guys than any other shrimp that I have. I won first place in the last USA Shrimp Contest International with these guys. They breed so true. There's almost no culling to these guys at all. I've culled one shrimp out of this tank in the last year. Very deep, solid colors. And this has been a project tank of mine. I'm trying to get the boa pattern on the tie bees. It's not a really good one to show. These shrimp just took all the food and ran to the back. You can see them. See them all back there. So maybe I'll have to do a video on these guys in the future, but it's like my main tie bee project tank, and I just took these guys and separated them out for the capes on the back and the nice decent patterns on the face. And then down below we have some Neos. We got the Blue Dream Neocaridina, and then we've got these on the Samurai soil. And then we've got the Shadow Pandas, Black King Kongs, some normal pandas. And we have the Red King Kongs. Just move the step stool out of the way. We've got different Hino patterns, full Red King Kongs, one stripes, even a couple Missouri in there somewhere. And we've got a project tank in here. There's only 2 shrimp in here. I don't see either one of those, so I'll move along. And we've got our cheetah tigers. These guys are really prolific. They breed like crazy. I only started with like 7 shrimp in here, and they just exploded into 2 tanks and a couple of other hybrid tanks going on with these as well. And we've got our low grade tie bee tank. These guys Tybes are notorious, as you can see, for taking the food and kind of hogging it all for themselves and running away with it. But that's a sign of good, strong, healthy shrimp. And then, oh, we've got the nice female came out to say hello. But just want to talk about these tanks real quick. The 3 substrates that I use and why I use them. The middle tank is the Cafe by Brightwell, and then next to it we got the Oscuro from Brightwell, and then the Blue Dream Neocaridina is on the Samurai soil. The reason why we use the Brightwell for all of our Caridina is because all of the Caridina need low pH. Some of the tigers and hybrids can get away with it. However, a lot of your Taiwan bees, especially the pures and the more finicky ones like the Galaxy Pintos and stuff like that, they need the lower pH. They need a stable, constant, low pH. So we keep them all on Brightwell substrate. Doesn't matter if you get the Cafe or the Oscuro. All you're basically choosing is between brown or black, black being the Oscuro. With the Samurai soil, there is no alteration with the pH at all. It is inert. It won't buffer one way or the other. So whatever pH your tap water is probably what you're going to have in the tank, unless you have some rocks or something else to alter that. So we got the Samurai soil, and it's made to look like an aqua soil, so you can get that look. However, it's not going to turn the water acidic, so you can keep, you know, rabbit snails or stuff in here if you're not worried too much about the plants getting eaten, but it won't wash away the shell and deteriorate it because it's acidic. However, the aqua soil is very much needed for the Caridinas. So I had already stopped the video before. However, in the last video after Shelby got done editing, I saw that not nearly enough cardinal shrimp had come out. These guys are just not social at all. As soon as you stick a net in the tank, they just grab onto the nearest rock and cling on for dear life. They'll out of line of sight you better than anything else. Especially if the snails didn't have enough time. They're so slow to get to the food. I think there's only one snail eating in the other tank. So we've got the yellow, and then there's a chocolate rabbit snail right there. Hard to get a view on him. But you can easily tell why these are Shelby's favorite shrimp. When I showed her the picture of these guys, her mouth dropped, her eyes lit up, and I could easily tell that I was going to have no problem getting a couple of tanks of these guys going. I'm sorry. Issue focusing. But these guys are just gorgeous. They're one of my favorite shrimps as well. This is our main tank. This is Shelby's favorite tank. I try not to touch any of the shrimp out of this tank for her. I usually sell them out of the other tank first. But these guys are just gorgeous. Anybody who wants any help with these guys, feel free to ask Shelby any questions. She's the master of these guys for sure. She's been breeding them with me for well over 5 years now. So, and then go back to this tank real quick. Some of the cooler Tybes, but I wanted to go in here. Nope, there was a bunch of the back lines, the blue back line out, but they're all moving around in this tank like crazy. And some of the orange eyes for the Green Tiger project. This will be a really neat project. Maybe one of the nicer black Tybee boa project is out. And then a Tybee is just a tiger crossed with a bee. Any hybrid that doesn't show the double shadow pigment like you see in the black King Kongs. Usually they're just a Thai bee. If they have the double pigment though, it's definitely a Thai bee, which is a Thai bee crossed with a Taiwan bee again. And these would all be considered Thai bees. So you could cross these guys with either black King Kongs or red King Kongs to create the Thai bees. But I think that wraps up the video for now. Thanks guys. Let me know if you have any comments or questions. Please leave them down below. And please subscribe and share the video for future content.